My name's Ed Bigelow, and I'm an artist and exhibit builder.
So which exhibits specifically have you worked on in here?
Okay, this room here was redone, and most of it was in place, but all this lower part here, all this was done in my studio. All these burrows and all that sort of stuff, and this roasting pit was all my construction, and basically redid a lot of the interior work, like these yuccas back here. The leaves are fake leaves that I made, stuff like that, and then did all the murals in dinosaur room, except for one little section over in the corner that was existing. Did the downstairs early man exhibit in the African room. Did all that. I sculpted, well, the Zygoresia that used to be on display that's downstairs, that, and the ichthyosaur in the far room there, and me and my partner redid the ankylosaur, and downstairs the early man exhibit, I did all those. And so yeah, it's a combination of sculpturing and painting. I studied painting when I was in college, and I was pretty good at that. And when I first formed the art business with my other artist partner, he had a degree in sculpture, but it was more like modern sculpture and stuff, you know. And so I just learned by doing, and I had a natural facility for the sculpture end of it. So, you know, sometimes it's what you're doing is supposed to disappear and not be obvious, and so sometimes if nobody notices it, then it's good, you know. And it can be satisfying seeing people's reaction to it if it's something that's real successful when it comes to being done. And I think the most challenging part is when materials don't work out right. Like, if one of the worst nightmares is if silicone doesn't cure properly, then it's just a gooey mess and it's impossible to clean. And a lot of the stuff that I work on is you're using chemicals and stuff that sometimes has the reaction that you didn't plan on. like on this T-Rex back here, there was an incident where he got burned up a little bit, and then I had to come in and put in fresh foam. And there was parts of it that, like the silicone is real sensitive to impurities and stuff, and if you don't have everything just spotlessly clean, it might not cure. So it looks fine, but you touch it and it's gooey and it's sticky, and it'll stay that way for 20 years, you know. So it's like what would be a major disaster. Yeah. And so that's happened occasionally. For me personally, I remember going to like a wax museum up in Victoria in Canada and British Columbia. It was like Madame Tussauds, and there was it sounds gross, but there was a chamber of horrors, you know, with people being tortured and stuff and all this stuff. But it was really realistic, you know. But some of that stuff stuck in my mind, you know. And I always thought it would be fun to work making exhibits in a museum. And several years ago, me and another artist friend put together a company, and we started out doing faux finishes, because that was sort of the thing at the time, and I'd had that suggested to me by one of my clients, and so we put together a little company and made up a bunch of faux finish samples, and we got a lot of work and stuff. And so in the process, we put an ad in the newspaper, in the Yellow Pages, and I had some Mural Experience when I was a younger kid, and so that was part of our Yellow Pages ad. And one day out of the blue, Marilyn called from the museum wanting something done, and we came down here, and that was the beginning. That was probably 1996 or so. And so at that time, the dinosaur gallery that was just a couple dinosaurs and there was bark on the floor and stuff. And there was one mural went over to the corner and just abruptly ended. And so that was our first little job, and it worked out good. And so, you know, over the years I've developed a little bit of a relationship with Marilyn, and it's been a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a learning experience for me when I get a project, because I have a lot of research to do, and you know, in this business, a lot of it is speculation. You know, there was a guy that did this kind of work, and he said, if I took a skeleton of an elephant and reconstructed it just strictly from the skeleton, it would look like a giant shrew or something. It wouldn't have, you know, there would be no trunk there or anything. So a lot of this stuff is speculation, and hopefully I speculate in the right direction. And you know, sometimes it's all wrong and it gets replaced in a few years. So, you know, it's a learning experience, and you just don't take it too seriously when something gets replaced and goes in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because people are making discoveries all the time, and then what you thought was a decent reproduction or a reconstruction 5 years ago is all of a sudden totally wrong. So, you know, that's
Okay. Let's see. Do you have a favorite piece here in the museum, or something that you really enjoyed working on?
I was pretty proud of that last mural that I painted in the Marine Room. That was the Hypercore period.
Hypercore something.
Hypercore period, yeah.
Okay.
Something along those lines. I'm not real good. I have to admit, I'm not real good with the Latin terms. Once I put them in there and do it, then it has a tendency to
That's fine.
dissipate.
That's totally fine.
It's enjoyable to like work here and be able to like do work that actually has some sort of function in the community. Like the school kids when they come down. Empty school bus circled my corner this morning, so I don't know how many people are coming down. But on a normal year, you know, that's 70,000, 50,000 school kids come through here, and I think that's a pretty good thing, you know, that I'm in the conversation there.